10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up?
Hello.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Sorry, everybody, for scheduling this so late. I just got home from work like 45 minutes ago. I've been out since 5:45 this morning, so I wasn't home to schedule the chat until like 45 minutes ago. So, shit happens, you know? What can I say? Shit happens. By the way, George, let me know, George, how that Superman figure you picked up was. I saw you posted it on ToyTubers today. I'm curious. I keep seeing it. And it's only because it's Superman that I give a crap. Otherwise, I wouldn't normally care. Because it's McFarlane. Is that new gold label one? That's a repeat of
the Action Comics.
Yeah.
I have it. It's good.
Yeah. I have like two other versions of that same. I don't know. It's Superman. I buy Superman shit, so I don't really want it, but I'm like,
the kids.
If you have,
were you gonna finish that sentence?
If you have the first few of them, it's practically the same figure, just with a printed on metallic symbol and a soft goods cape. But I mean, it's still a good Superman.
Yeah.
But it's practically
He's single jointed elbows and knees. So
yeah. Nothing really too. I mean, I have it myself. I was gonna use it for customizing, but I don't know yet if I will or not. Maybe I try to buy.
Well, welcome everybody out here in the chat. I see all you guys out there talking. Welcome everyone. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Tonight we're going to be talking about best TV shows of the year. Now, of course, what that means is basically Duke's best and worst show is going to be the same show for some reason. I don't know what he's going to. His best show is also going to be the show he hates the most.
No, I've got better shows for this year. Don't worry.
He's in a good mood tonight.
I when I was going through and looking at all the shows that came out this year, and there was like a lot of good shit. I mean, at least a lot of stuff I liked. I mean, it was a pretty good year. I mean, as far as that, there was also some stuff that was disappointing, like House of the Dragon season 2. That was disappointing to me. I don't know about y'all. I loved the first season. Second season disappointed me. It just felt like it was all one big build up to season 3, and there was not really.
There was no payoff.
There's no payoff in the show. It just kind of ended with a cliffhanger of like, wait till season 3 to resolve all this shit we built up for the last 10 episodes. It's like, well, fuck.
I mean, that's all it was with the first Game of Thrones, though.
Well, not really.
It all builds up, then give you a cliffhanger for wait till season 2.
Yeah, they would give you a cliffhanger, but not things were actually happening and being resolved within an episode. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like with House of the Dragon, especially season 2, it was just all build up, and it was just a constant episode after episode of like, well, this happened, what's going to happen next? This happened, what's going to happen next? This happened, what's going to happen next? And they did that for 10 episodes, and we never saw what happened next. Like, we never actually got to the thing. Like, are we even in the actual war yet at this point in the show?
Yeah.
I mean, they had battles, yeah.
They had a couple, but I don't know.
Not what you wanted.
I still enjoyed it, but it certainly didn't make my list for like best TV of the year. That's for sure. It's still better than a lot of other shit that's out there. I'm not gonna lie, and I still watched all the episodes and I still enjoyed it. However, it was definitely subpar to season 1. So, anyway. So how's everybody's weekend going?
Nice.
It's going.
I'm great.
Good. All right. Don't get too excited.
So we're
Oh,
doing
it's
top
depressing.
10.
You want to hear all about it? It's so sad and awful.
We're doing top 10 TV shows, right?
Top 10 TV shows, yes. It's just TV show. Like, it doesn't have to be a new TV show. It can just be, hey, this season of whatever the hell was really good. That's all it is. Doesn't have to be a new show. Doesn't have to be the first time anybody's seen it, anything like that. Just, was it good television? That's what I care about. What was good television this year? Which, by the way, and Duke, we've talked about this before. I think like television is where it's at. Like, I love movies. We'll always love movies. But when a TV show gets it right, whether it's something like, Game of Thrones, or, we've talked about the first few seasons, 7 seasons. I'll give them the first 7 seasons of, Walking Dead. Good television where you're like there every week on the dot, man, in this 10 to 20 episode story arc. When that's done right, like, that can be way better than a movie.
Yep, and you have more time to flush out characters and issues and storylines, and that's where media does best. I think there is stuff that does well for an hour and a half or 2 hour movie. That's fine. But if you want to tell really good stories like Walking Dead or Star Wars or Game of Thrones or other things like that, just do them on the correct platforms, which are 10 episodic episodes that give you 10 hours to tell a story.
As long as you have a story that works in 10 hours. Because as we've seen, like, the perfect example is the Obi-Wan show, right?
Yeah.
That was a show that should not have been 6 episodes long.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Never been made.
There was maybe 3 hours of meat in that show. Maybe. You probably could have whittled it down to a 2.5 hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
And cut all the crap in it that didn't need to exist, that just frankly wasn't good. And then sometimes you get a show like Andor, since we're talking about Star Wars. 10 episodes that are, every episode is just flush packed with action and drama and character development and shit. And Andor's phenomenal. I hope season 2 doesn't suck. I really, really do. Because season 1 was so just damn good. And then you get Walking Dead, right? Like, Walking Dead was really good for several years. And then it just went completely to shit. For I don't even know why. I can't even explain why. There was like a good formula going, and it
went on too long.
It just went away. It just went away.
Went on too long and no Rick.
It's showrunners.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, went on too long and it was no Rick.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I had a lot of good stuff. I'm probably forgetting a bunch of the stuff that I watched, because you watch a show, and especially if it's something that you binge watch early in the year, you kind of forget about it. So there's probably some shows I've just completely forgot came out this year that were good, but we'll see. We're gonna talk about it for a little bit. By the way, this is not going to be like a really, really long 2-hour chat or anything. So we're gonna talk about some TV. We may answer some questions in the comments and all that kind of stuff, and kind of go from there. But I have, for the last few days, been waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I know Duke knows what that's like.
Yes, sir.
And I am just beat to shit. I can do that for a few days in a row before it catches up to me.
It'll get you.
So after a while, then I'm just like, I want to like go to bed at like 10 o'clock tonight, because I got to do it again tomorrow too. So, anyway. But what else? Anything else that happened here in the last couple days, geek-wise? By the way, Duke, I loved our conversation last night about Star Wars. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's some of my favorite stuff, is to go into that Star Wars, like that road that we go on. We go on it like pretty frequently, but there's a ton of stuff to talk about. I mean,
that wasn't even supposed to be a geek chat last night, but I
know.
Enjoyed the shit out of it.
Yeah, that always makes me happy to go down that road. Made me think about it all day, of that, like that the whole Shadows of the Empire stuff. I love that. And I really wish we could have got a live action Shadows
Yeah.
of the Empire.
Yeah, that, by the way, that's a book I need to reread. I haven't read it since the 90s.
I reread it once a year. It's one of my favorites.
I need to reread that book.
Mhm.
I remember I
It's
remember
so
like
worth
I remember in the is it in the opening? I can't remember if it's at the very beginning of the book. For some reason, there's this part of the book and says you've read it way more times than I have.
Mhm.
You probably remember where it's just Luke and he's thinking to himself when he's on Tatooine, like before he goes to try and get Han or anything. I think it's in Shadows of the Empire.
Where
It's in one of the books that took place between Empire and Jedi.
when he's
and he's-
building his lightsaber before he's in Obi-Wan's hut.
I think that's what it is, and he's thinking about the fact that when he smells something that stinks, it's because he's actually inhaling tiny bacteria of that thing.
That has got to be when he's building the lightsaber in Obi-Wan's hut, and it's at the beginning of the book.
It was just like, because when I read that, I mean, because when that book came out, I was probably about 14,
Mhm.
15. I can't remember how old I was. And I think that was the first time I'd ever like heard it explained like that. That was reading that book, and like Luke sitting there like contemplating how he was smelling something. I don't know what the hell it was. I don't remember. Bantha poodoo or something like that. And how it disgusted him knowing that what he was smelling was little tiny particles of that thing, and that's how he could smell it. That's why he could smell it. And it was like a page of like random thoughts, I guess, while he was building the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Of like this shit that was going through his head while he's trying to concentrate. And that was like the first time in my life is reading that and going, shit, that's right. That means when you smell shit, you're actually breathing in tiny airborne shit particles.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it just, as like 14-year-old me or whatever the fuck it was, I had never thought about that before.
Mhm.
And so for some reason, that shit just stuck with me for my entire life because of a Star Wars book. Anyway. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, and I loved the whole Shadows of the Empire. We'll call it a campaign, right? You had the book, the game, the comic, the toys. Just like it was a big push,
Mhm.
and it was so worth it because it was such a great story that was being told. Like just everything, bringing in Prince Caesar, however you're supposed to say his name, I don't know.
Zizor or something like that. I
Zizor.
can never get it right. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is, and like he was such a great villain character. When you're doing it, when you're trying, like you're especially because you're trying to like, okay, well, let's do a story. Well, what do we can't do Darth Vader because we know the last time that everybody's seen Vader. We can't do it. You can't be the Emperor. We got to make up a new character, right? And they did such a phenomenal job with him being essentially, like the next in line after Jabba for all intents and purposes. He kind of a competitor to Jabba,
Yes.
But like he was wanting to be the next, crime boss of the galaxy and all this shit.
Yes.
And he was such a well done character. And it might have even been like the first time, because I can't remember what came out first. Did the Zahn trilogy come out first, or did Shadows of the Empire come out first? I don't remember.
Shadows of the Empire was second. Shadows
Okay.
of the Empire was mid-90s. So, and you're
So it
talking
would
about
have been
early
this-
90s, late 80s.
So it would have been the second time that since the original trilogy that Star Wars came up with just a whole new villain
Mm-hmm.
that was just phenomenally done. I'm not going to say no, you know what? I will say that I think Prince Zizor, whatever the fuck his name is, was just as good of a villain in that book as Thrawn was in the Thrawn trilogy. Granted, they are very different, and Timothy Zahn, let's be honest, he's probably the best person to ever have written Star Wars novels ever. So, but
Well, and he had the lore, like he had it down. It was like somebody who understood Star Wars was writing Star Wars material. and so everything fit. The way
Yeah.
Luke acted, the way that Princess Leia talked and spoke, and her ideas, and
Yeah.
this whole buildup that you got for the movie, and it just complements and runs right into Jedi. And there was all these questions in between Jedi, like, what do you mean Chewbacca, and like, who's this bounty hunter?
Yeah.
And like, where's Han been, and what's Luke's got a green lightsaber, like, where did that come from, and why does it look like Obi-Wan's old one? Well, all that's explained in that like awesome episodic adventure, and it's all about trying to track down Han Solo, Luke on his adventures, like all that stuff that you care about. That would have been awesome. I hope someday we get some sort of rendition of it. I wouldn't be fine with an animated version of something someday, but
that would be cool. I would just like them to do something with that. I mean, we're maybe kind of sort of headed towards a Zahn storyline. That new Mandalorian Grogu movie is in pre-production right now. They're going to start filming soon, and we know Thrawn's going to be in that, and we know Thrawn's going to be in the next season of Ahsoka, and so they're kind of building this little world of Thrawn out in movies and TV. Why can't they do that with Shadows of the Empire? And I don't know. Maybe it's they don't want to go back, and maybe they don't want to recast, which I think is stupid. I mean, they should totally recast and do those types of stories.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like you know what I think it is. I think it might be because of the Han Solo movie. It might be because of the Han Solo movie, which, by the way, was completely their fault that movie didn't do well. It was completely their fault because they released it less than 6 months after Last Jedi, in the midst of a lot of fan backlash from Last Jedi. And had they just held off and given it at least a year for everybody to cool off, I'm not saying that was a perfect movie. It had its issues. However, overall, I still enjoyed it. It is not one of the best Star Wars movies, but it's better than that trilogy was. And had they just let it cool off a little bit before dumping that movie out in fucking January for some reason, like, I think it would have been better received. But I'm wondering if that's why they're so in like recasting Luke and Leia and Han and those characters. What?
My arm's getting tired. Can you call on me?
Oh, I'm not even looking over here, bro. Just start. You know how this goes. Just fucking start talking.
We're just being a dick, bro.
I'm not. You're here. I'm looking over here.
Oh, it looks like you're looking at me, bro.
Well,
I think your mic not on.
My mic?
Camera's here.
Oh, there it is.
Here you go. Is that better?
That's better.
Sorry, it was off to the side. Look, my fucking boom broke. Look.
Oh, I've been there.
So I have to hold it now, like a bitch. Anyway, how's it going?
Good.
My question is, like, I don't know. Let's say you had to pay for something big, and you had to sell a bunch of shit, right? How much would you get for all of those toys behind you? Is that like tens of thousands of dollars? Like, what are we talking here? Like, how much would you estimate the market value of your toy collection?
So let's say I really wanted to sell this.
I'm just curious.
Stuff. Let's say I really was like, I need money quick, and I want to mark everything for a price I think I can sell it for really quickly. I would honestly put, like, with a few exceptions, I would honestly sell everything for $10 a piece. Like, if I just sold everything for $10 a piece, and JB, you know what I'm talking about. That's a good price. I could probably sell everything for an average of $10 a piece and get rid of it rather quickly. Right, for somebody that like wanted to buy a bunch and like buy a collection, right? There'd be a few here and there that I would charge more for because there's some in this that's worth more money. But if you figure $10 a piece, and I've got, I don't know, probably 1,800 to 2,000 things in here at an average of $10 a piece.
Okay.
Does that give you an idea?
2,000 times 10 basically is the
$20,000,
You got 20 G's worth of fucking toys behind you,
roughly.
bro. You're like balling.
Like roughly. I
Yeah,
mean,
200.
you really
200
like- You ever like fucking talk to the other toy people and like flex on them?
no, because most of the toy people have more shit than I do.
Actually, you've got more than me, Matt. If I'm being
Well, I've got
honest.
more than you, but
Yeah, you got way more than
Jared's
me.
entire house is one big fucking toy. Like he's got an entire basement.
Yeah, Jared's entire house is full of
His
toys.
basement is 4 times the size of my room, and it is lined wall to wall with way more shit than I have. Plus, he's got 2 rooms upstairs in his house lined wall to wall with shit. Plus, he has stuff in his fucking living room. Several cases of stuff in his living room. Like, dude, there are toy collectors that have way more shit than I do. It's like if you go to the gun side of things, it's like the difference between compared to a lot of people, I have a lot of guns. Compared to Yankee, I don't have shit. You know what I mean? So I'm
Fair.
somewhere there in the middle. That's kind of where I'm at with the
Yeah.
toy stuff.
Mr. MDT Trey is in the house here. He's probably got over 3,500 figures.
See,
Yes,
see,
sir,
there you
have
go. Right there, somebody who has like
Yeah.
considerably more than I do.
All right. Okay, I have another question. Like, let's say you wanted to fucking like flex on some toy people and be like, I've got the Superman, I got the whatever thing, and you're like, oh yeah, well I got the bitch, whatever the fuck it is. Like, what is the thing that you have? You can like throw down and be like, yeah, the thing that you have is a pussy bitch thing to have compared to my X-wing or whatever, you know?
I mean, I do have the original 1978 Millennium Falcon in pristine condition with all the pieces hanging from my ceiling. But a lot of people probably have that. I mean, I don't know what percentage of toy collectors have that, but I mean, I do have that. Most of the stuff that's really cool that I have that other people don't have is like some of the custom stuff I have, like my custom Mecha Hulk that Jared made, and would that he had been doing it for anybody else, it probably would have cost $600-700. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
I think your fucking second channel should be Never Enough like action figures or something.
I mean,
To be
Is that
fair-
what Geek Fusion is?
basically it is. By the way, for people that are watching on the toy channel and on Geek Fusion, don't know what the fuck's going on here. I'm broadcasting on both channels. I have my other channel. I broadcast Geek Nights on both channels. For people that don't know, what the fuck are you talking about? Who are these people you're talking to? I'm broadcasting on both of my YouTube channels. Anyway, like I'm sure my damn toys doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about when I talk about my gun collection.
Yeah, you can call me Never Enough Motorcycles.
But
he said it just popped up as recommendation, so he gave it a
well, there
whirl.
you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand.
But I bet it ain't my NEA channel that popped up in his recommendation. I bet it's the Geek Fusion channel that popped up in his recommendations. Although maybe not. I have no idea, but more than likely. Fuck, were we talking about? Star Wars? I don't know. We were talking
about Star Wars. The main course was the
Well,
top shows of 2024.
The main course is the top. We're gonna do
Yeah.
our top TV shows of 2024. But to get back to it, like, yes, Duke, you and I heavily agree
Oh yeah.
that Shadows of the Empire needs some sort of adaptation. I would prefer live action.
Isn't it too late? Didn't they already fucking move beyond that and fuck everything?
Yeah, but it's Star Wars, dude. You can go back and tell different stories in different times. I mean, they do that shit all the time. We got Star Wars Rebels took place before A New Hope. You got Rogue One and Andor take place before A New Hope. You know, you can go back and tell a story that takes place between Empire and Jedi. You know what I mean? And the material's there. The book is there. Shadows of the Empire is a phenomenal piece of Star Wars storytelling. And it's new. And it's different because it's not just them fighting the Empire or fighting Darth Vader again, right? It's a whole new villain. It's a whole new story. It introduces new characters. And yeah, it does lead into Jedi, and we know where that's going. But it's a really, really good complex, well-written story, and
really
it's
wish
just
they could
there
do-
waiting to be adapted.
I heard you talking about it a minute ago, but I really wish that they could do the Timothy Zorn or Zahn or whatever. How do you say his name? Fuck me.
Zahn.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now,
I read
did you
that
know?
back in the day. I read that when I was a teenager, dude.
Yeah, no, I did too. It's probably
Great.
it is I think without a doubt the best piece of Star Wars storytelling that's
And it was
ever
so-
been done.
It was so well written. It sucks
Yeah.
you in. Like this, like the character developed. Like everything about it was great, and it was critically acclaimed. Like people love it. People
Well, here's the thing.
loved
Did
it.
you know he rewrote that for the new canon? There is a new Timothy Zahn Thrawn trilogy that came out. I want to say he started doing it in 2017, 2018. Timothy Zahn, Lucasfilm brought him back and said, "Hey, we want you to write another Zahn trilogy, but update it with the things we've changed in universe." And apparently, I've never read it, but people have said it's really good. Now, obviously, there are changes that have been made. They change a little bit from what I understand. What is it? He got the Chiss. You know, he was part of that the Chiss. I guess they delve more into who the Chiss are, and that the Emperor had this relationship with the Chiss Empire that was just outside of known space in the galaxy, and that's where he got Thrawn from. And because I think, and maybe I'm remembering this backwards, but in the original Thrawn trilogy, he was kicked out of the Chiss Empire for like being too good, and they were scared of him or something like that. I can't remember what the story was, but anyway, he made little changes here and there, and he went into more of the lore of the Chiss Empire, where Thrawn came from, and their relationship with Palpatine, and how Palpatine had worked with them for a long time without telling anybody, and was basically using the Chiss Empire as a backup to the Empire, to the stormtroopers and stuff. And that's where he found Thrawn and brought him into the Empire and made him the Grand Admiral and all this shit. Anyway, apparently it's a new trilogy. I've never read it, but I have heard it's good. Will it be as good as the original Thrawn trilogy? I don't know. Something tells me it's not. However, both are written by Timothy Zahn. So
Remember when Night Strike called him Palpatine?
Palpatine, I do, and we trolled him for years because of that.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah,
Palpatine. It's a
Palpatine.
different pronunciation.
He is the best dude to play you two, and then I miss Infernus too, but man, playing Left 4 Dead and then leaving Night Strike behind or shooting him.
I will always remember shooting him on the ladder.
Oh my gosh, I miss that dude so much.
That
He
was
so mad, dude.
it was so. Didn't he rage quit? Like he rage quit.
He rage quit and didn't come back for like a month, dude.
Yeah,
That's weird.
and it is because it wasn't.
Like,
It was the four of us, right? It was us. It was the three of us and Night Strike, and y'all went down, and it was just me and Night Strike left, and I got to the helicopter first, and as he was climbing up the ladder, I just went.
Well, the thing is, it was like after I did it to him, like at least once, maybe twice, I had done that to him before, and he was so mad about it. And like one time we saved him and we got him up or whatever, you know, and we got him into the helicopter and it was okay. And he was like so mad about it, but we saved him or whatever. It's fine, you know. And then like the next time you shot him. And that was it, bro. Like we were down. You're right. Like it was just you and him. We were like, oh, like Night Strike and never enough ammo were gonna make it.
Yeah.
And then never enough ammo made it.
Well, it's kind of his fault because he will, in the midst of a zombie horde, use a fucking frying pan as a weapon. When we're all down and shit and need his help and need teamwork, and bitches running around with a frying pan, meleeing zombies. Like a dumbass. Yeah, I hope you're listening, Night Strike. You know you do that shit. But anyway. Ridiculous shit. All right, let's talk TV of 2024, since that is what this chat is supposed to be about. What is the best TV of 2024? I found about I don't know, about 18 shows, 20 shows that I really liked this year. Now, some I would not put as the best of 2024 just because they haven't finished yet, but I will certainly include those shows as honorable mentions. Does anybody else in here watch like all the Taylor Sheridan stuff? You know, anyone? Leo, you do, right?
I have no idea. Who that
Taylor
is.
Sheridan, you know, Yellowstone, Tulsa King,
Oh, yeah,
Lioness.
Yeah, I've watched Yellowstone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, there's one show on that's on right now that hasn't finished called Landman. And Leo, are you watching Landman?
Yes, it's on my list.
Dude, I didn't put it on my list because it technically hasn't made it through a whole season yet.
Yeah.
It's still got a few more episodes to go. So anything that's not finished, I didn't put on my list. But damn, is that such a good show? Like, I think that is because, I mean, first of all, look, I mean, the fact that Taylor Sheridan has Yellowstone, 1883, 1927, or 1886, 1923, whatever, right? So Yellowstone, 1883, 1920, whatever. Lioness, Mayor of Kingstown, Tulsa King, Landman, and I feel like I'm forgetting at least one. He's got at least 7 shows on the air right now. 7 fucking television. This dude, remember, what's his name? Donald P. Belisario. You used to see his name on every fucking TV show back in the late 80s. You remember that? You remember seeing that name? Donald P. Belisario? He like did Quantum Leap and like just fuck tons of shows, dude. He was like the dude that wrote every fucking popular TV show in like the late 80s.
Oh yeah, I've probably seen him.
You know, or what's his name? Stephen J. Cannell. Am I the only old ass motherfucker here that remembers the names of people who wrote shows back in the 80s? Fuck
yes. Yes.
Like, this is the next one of those dudes. And those dudes have not existed for a long time. Like, it's been a long time since one dude has just written so many fucking hit shows. Because TV has changed so much in the last 20 years with streaming and everything else that there's not really people like that just fucking knocking it out of the park over and over and over again. But this dude does not have a bad show. Every one of his shows is fucking fantastic. Every one of them is great. Like, I love all of them. I finally watched because I didn't watch it when it first came out last year, but I finally caught up on both seasons with my wife of Lioness. Have you seen that one, Leo?
No, I heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
That show's fantastic. Now, I will say, first season was really good. Second season was amazing. Second season was way, way better than the first season. But the premise of the show is basically it's like the CIA has essentially a little team that is a backup. That's like they are a CIA team, bunch of fucking dudes, right? And what they do is they pick a chick whenever they need to send somebody in undercover. It's always safer and easier to insert somebody in like a criminal organization or a terrorist organization if they're a chick, because people are less likely to suspect a woman of being like a CIA agent or anything like that or whatever, right? So like every season they'll take some chick. Like in the first season it was some chick who was a Marine, and in the second season it's some chick who's a helicopter pilot in like Afghanistan. And then they bring them in and they train them to basically be like undercover moles. And then they have a whole team of like badass fucking like ex-Navy SEAL CIA types that like have that chick's back and watch her while she fucking infiltrates into like whatever organization for whatever reason they need. Right. And like, it's just fun. Dude, it's a fucking great show. Dude, I'm telling you, Taylor Sheridan, every show he puts out is fantastic. Landman is probably, in my opinion, so far, the second best Taylor Sheridan show that he's put out after Yellowstone. It's great.
Then I say
So-
Tulsa King, number 3.
Tulsa King would be number 3. Yes, absolutely. Tulsa King was my number 2 until Landman came out this year.
Yeah, Tulsa King did make my list, but it would be like runner up.
Yeah.
That and plus Twilight of the Gods would be my run. My
See,
runner-up.
what did I just say? I told you I was going to forget shit. Twilight of the Gods. I completely forgot about that show, and you're right. That was a great show. I didn't put it on my list because I forgot that I watched it. I liked that show a lot. I know it had mixed reviews, but I thought they did a great job with that show.
I like the soundtrack.
The soundtrack was great.
love the
I liked the
soundtrack.
animation style.
Yeah.
I liked the overall story. I liked all the characters in it. Although I didn't realize till the very end that one chick was a dude. I didn't know. I was like, what? Wait, that's a dude? But then at the end,
what?
it's not a dude anymore either.
Wait, what? Wait, what did I miss?
The witch chick is not a chick.
What, she wasn't?
No. But then she became a real chick at the end, remember? When the magic and she fucking grew tits and everything.
Oh, because the guy she was with went like both ways anyway. So I
Yeah.
guess that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't realize that. I watched that whole show just thinking it was a flat-chested chick. And I was like,
I didn't know
oh.
right now, right.
And then when I found out, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I
That
didn't
makes-
remember or I didn't catch it. Yeah.
I didn't catch it at all. But anyway, that was a good show. I did like that one. Okay, so I think everybody put together a top 10 list of our top 10 favorite shows. And I think we'll do this a little bit simpler than we did the movies last time. So I just want everybody to go through their list, start at 10, go down to number 1, and we'll kind of just make it work. Because doing it the way we did it last week takes a long time. Which I'll do for movies, but for TV shows, we'll make it a little bit quicker. So anyway, who's got a list ready and wants to go first?
I have my list ready.
Okay, Leo. All right, Leo. Hey, Chingo. Give me your number 10.
All right, my number 10, I have Landman. That's because it didn't have right. It hasn't been finished yet, but it is still so good. So that's why it's at my number 10. Can't stand the wife, love the daughter. I think she's funny as hell. But
I love that conversation. Was it last episode or the episode before, where he's like, honey, you need to lie to me. He's like, I don't care how old you are. You need to tell me you're a virgin forever. If you get pregnant and give me grandkids, just tell me you were artificially inseminated.
Yeah.
That's the deal between a father and a daughter. Is you don't tell me when you hook up with people.
Yeah.
And he's like, you do that, I'll buy you a BMW and I'll put you through college and everything will be fine. Just lie to me. I don't want to know what you're doing.
Yeah. Him and his daughter, like together, great.
Yeah.
Like
the
the
only
best
character
banter.
on the show I don't really like is his son. I don't know why. His son's I don't know. It's not that he's a bad character. He's just kind of meh.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have much of a personality. They haven't really done much with his character outside of just using his character as kind of a plot point.
Right.
But anyway, no, you're right. It's a fantastic show. All right, what's your number 9?
Oh, so we just going. Oh, okay. 9, I get Star Trek Lower Decks.
Lower Decks, yes.
Yeah, and I did watch the last 2 episodes on Christmas. Right, it was great. I think it still kind of ended too quick, but it was great.
Well, I told you, like, those last 2 episodes, I don't know about you, but those last 2 episodes are probably my favorite 2 episodes of the whole show. Especially the next to last, where it's just his clone and all the Kims and everybody. I love that.
Yeah, the one Kim got mad because all the other Kims are still like innocents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got for number 8?
Those About to Die. I have a number 8.
I still have not watched that fucking show.
You still haven't.
I've gotten to like episode 3, and that's it.
Right.
I gotta watch that show.
Yeah.
And
And it gets a lot better and good.
Well, I mean, the first like 2 or 3 episodes were really good. I don't know why. It's like I keep putting it on before I go to bed, and I'll fall asleep and then forget about it. That's what's happening. So, all right, what do you got next for number 7?
The Rookie.
Oh, I love that
Yep.
show.
Great show. Funny.
I don't like cop shows
Me either.
normally, but that show, I don't know if it's just Nathan Fillion or just the whole cast is good, but it's a really good show. I forgot about that. That one didn't make my list. I completely forgot about it. But you're right. That was one of my favorite shows this year. I've been watching that. What are they on? Season 5? They're about to do season 6.
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I have friends, actual friends in real life, that play on Chicago PD, and I still don't watch the show.
You're still like, yeah, fuck that show.
Yeah. And I have friends that actually play on the show and don't even watch it. Okay. Let's see.
All right.
Okay, that's number 7. Number 6, I got Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, of course.
Which
You know,
is obvious.
I was worried that it wasn't going to be as good without Kevin Costner in it, but it was still fucking great.
I still don't like how they killed off Jamie. It was just too quick.
Yeah, and I remember when we talked about that, we both kind of wanted Rip to do it,
Yeah.
but
And plus, he never found out. Like,
Yeah, I
why
know.
she hated him. Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Let's see. What else? Number 5, I got Shogun.
So I never watched that show.
Oh, you haven't?
Nope,
Oh, okay. Well, it
never
was
watched
great.
it.
Let's see. Number 4, I have The Penguin.
Phenomenal show. That is on my list. I won't give away where it's at on my list, but yes.
At number 3, I have House of the Dragon.
All right.
You know, we
Didn't
talked
make my
about
list
earlier.
this year.
Oh,
First season made my list that year, whatever year that was. Whether I don't know if that last year or year before. First season made my list. The second season just didn't do as much for me.
I think it was the year before. When don't they?
Yeah, I
do
think it
like
was. I
every
think there was
other-
like almost 2 years between seasons.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Let's see. Second, I got Reacher.
See, there's another show. I completely forgot about Reacher. And you're right. That
You haven't watched any of it,
season-
or you haven't watched the season?
No, I forgot. I did watch it, and you're right. It was great.
Okay.
Reacher was great.
And at number 1, I have Cobra Kai. Right, and I know you're waiting for like the rest of the rest of the episodes to come out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want because we still got what 5 episodes.
Yeah, there's one more batch that needs to come out.
Okay, yeah.
Then it's over with. Yeah.
As soon as they drop, I'm gonna binge watch the whole season. I don't know why Netflix has started doing this crap where they
Oh yeah, it's pissing me off.
like because the people are complaining because they're doing that with Squid Game. They did that with Cobra Kai. Like, why are they breaking seasons up, man? Just wait. If you have to wait and drop the whole thing, man.
Dude, it's got to be something with like retaining viewership or
Yeah.
Like to keep you
retaining
for another month.
people's subscriptions or something like that.
Probably.
It's because you'll
Probably.
get Netflix for a month, and you'll turn it off.
Right.
So you got to have it for 2 months now or 3 months. That's what that's for.
With ads.
Yeah.
Now, yep. Unless you get the most expensive version, right? Or does that have ads too?
I don't even know anymore. I haven't had Netflix in a while, so I honestly don't remember. All right, Duke, because I want to get you before you fall asleep.
Yeah. Okay. Great War is number 10. It's like a World War I thing. Basic, but I like it. I had to throw something on here. Number 9 is Shogun. Number 8 is Wise Guys. It's a documentary on documentary TV show thing on Sopranos. It's pretty good.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one either.
I'm big into that, so that was enjoyable. Number
Wait,
7.
was it about the Sopranos or something?
No, about the
Like-
Sopranos. It's
Okay.
it's David Chase's Sopranos show. Number 7 is X-Men 97.
Oh, forgot. I
I
forgot.
really
Damn.
enjoyed this. Like a very fun '90s show. Going back to that. Number 6 is Masters of the Air, World War II about bomber pilots. So I really liked that. Number 5, I'm gonna put as Squid Games because we only got 7 episodes, but what they did is they somehow captured the magic of the first one, and they've done an Empire Strikes Back, where it's just awesome, and it's better and dark and everything I wanted from the first one and more. So, and really good story line. So awesome. I can't wait to see the next episodes. Very disappointed they only got 7 episodes, and I'm at a cliffhanger, but that's okay. Number 4 is Skeleton Crew, because that's really good, fun Star Wars. And it's not woke, and it's got some cool stuff in it, and it's got Jude Law, who's pretty crazy.
Only reason that didn't go on my list is because it hasn't finished the season yet.
I get that.
Yeah.
But I was struggling. Number 3 is Penguin, because that is, oh my gosh, again,
Dude, that show's so good.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the bad guy, which is crazy. So I enjoyed that. And then number 2, which you have not talked about yet, I'm surprised and disappointed. But Fallout. I loved that. I loved
on my list.
Yeah.
Almost made my list.
That show was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So Fallout is number 2, and then obviously you know what number 1 is for me. It's The Ones Who Live. I love that show so much. I've rewatched it about 4 times, and it's awesome.
It is finally bringing back stuff that we loved about Walking Dead when it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And we may never get any more. That may be it. It may have just been that one season.
Yeah.
You know? But at least we got it.
Yeah. And I mean, they need to wrap Daryl up, and then I'll be kind of happy. And then you can probably just, you know what I'd really like them to do is just stop and then redo it. Redo a comic adaptation of it. Or like Honda always talks about, just do a whole new storyline. Like, give me a whole new story, start from the beginning, and relive all the good times of the beginnings of the apocalypse and all kinds of crazy stuff. So that would be my opinion. But that's my top 10.
Well, they would have to do it with like production value. You couldn't just do that and be like, oh, let's just like half-ass it and then do another storyline. Like, you'd have to do it how they did season 1, you know, where they like shut down parts of Georgia and made a big deal and spent some money and, you know, did it right.
Although I don't know, because that show, what was the name of that sci-fi show that I'm blanking on? Leo, help me out. What was the name of the zombie sci-fi show?
Zombie sci-fi show.
The one with
Z-Nation?
Z-Nation. Yes, thank you, Sith. Z-Nation did not have a big budget, and that show was great.
I didn't watch Z Nation, so yeah, I want to get that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I watched episodes of it, but I couldn't get into it.
So I don't know. It depends on how they did it, but. Well, speaking of Sith, what do you got for your top 10, Sith?
Well, I finally managed to watch 10 series this year, so
right direction. Nice.
Number 10, I have Icons Unearthed Spider-Man, specifically. They released a whole bunch of them, but I'm a sucker for a documentary, and this one's voiced by the guy who plays Spider-Man in the PS4 games.
Oh, okay.
So
never even.
It was kind of fun.
Was it like a Disney Plus thing or something?
It's on Prime. Amazon Prime. Okay. They have a whole bunch on there. They got Batman, Spider-Man, Lord of the Rings, all of them. Documentaries about getting this movies and stuff. Did you know that the primary choice from Sony for playing Green Goblin in the original Spider-Man movie was Nicolas Cage? But he turned it down because he was wanting to play Superman instead.
You know, I think that would have worked.
I think it would have worked too.
I think that would have worked. I mean, I love what Willem Dafoe did ultimately. Like, he was iconic in that role. But I think you're right. I think Nicolas Cage would have done a great job. That's
Yep.
cool.
So that's at number 10. I'm a sucker for a good documentary. Number 9 is The Boys, season 4. I enjoyed it. It wasn't the best season, but it was fun.
Well, go ahead. Yeah.
Number 8 is Secret Level. About half of them were really good, and the other half were okay. 7 is Skeleton Crew. Having fun with it. It's not complete yet, but I'm having fun.
Yeah.
6, My Adventures with Superman, season 2.
I don't think I've watched season 3 yet.
It's good. It's a Supergirl, Kara, but they change it up quite a bit. So
You know what that reminds me of? I forgot to put Superman and Lois on the list.
that's a paddling.
That is somebody's gonna have to come over here and beat my ass. Yeah, because that was really good. Anyway, sorry, you just reminded me of that. I forgot about that show.
Number 5 is Solo Leveling. I've been enjoying that one.
I should have put that on the list. Damn.
Number 4 is Invincible season 2.
See,
They
fucking forgot about that too.
They broke it up for far too long in the middle and killed a lot of the hype for it, but it was a decent enough payoff. Number 3 is Fallout. 2 is X-Men 97. And number 1 is Superman and Lois, season 5.
Yep. I completely forgot about Superman and Lois. See, that's what I'm saying. There's so much TV this year that I just forgot half of it that I watch. All right, JB, it's your turn.
As I'm actually doing this, I'm actually rearranging my list, but I'll give you my number 10. Or skip over me real quick because I'm rearranging my list.
Right. I didn't put any anime on the list because that would have been just all my list. So I was like, I'm not gonna put any. That's like
do a
half
top
the
10 anime. That's a whole separate thing. Shit.
Right, that's a whole separate thing.
Well, I mean, Honda, do you have a list?
Hell no, I don't have a list, bro.
No, I know you don't. Which means I'm next. So, my number 10 is The Gentleman. I can tell by your silence, nobody has a clue what I'm talking about. That's okay. I fully expected this. I did talk about it when it came out. But The Gentleman is a Netflix spinoff of the movie The Gentleman. Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey in it. It's about British weed dealers. You remember that one, Leo? Everybody remembers that movie, right?
No.
Yes.
You lost me at the word British.
My wife.
It's a Guy Ritchie movie. It is in fact my favorite Guy Ritchie movie. It's a fantastic movie. Highly recommend this movie. Leo, you would love it.
But it's British. What movie
I
is
know
it?
it's British, but it's about British drug dealers. And
What's the
Matthew
name
McConaughey plays an American who.
That's a great.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. Well, they did essentially a spin-off of that in a 10-episode Netflix series called The Gentlemen. And it takes place, in London, and it doesn't focus on those specific characters from the movie, but it's the same thing. Like, it goes into how they're going around and paying off lords and all this stuff to use their land to create fucking weed farms and all this stuff. Anyway, it's a really good show. It's 10 episodes. It's based off of that whole world. It takes place, but it focuses on different characters. It's a great show. Highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. All right. Number 9 is Monarch: Legacy of Monsters.
I couldn't stand it.
I loved this show. I thought it was great. I'm also a huge Kurt Russell fan, so that may have had something to do with it. I don't know.
That could, yeah, that's probably what it was.
But it's basically a TV show that takes place in and around the time of all the Godzilla and Kong Skull Island and God, dude, look at this shit. What is that?
What?
Oh, y'all can't hear that because I'm not sharing.
I can hear it.
Oh,
I can hear
what?
it.
It's like an ad playing.
Yeah, some stupid ad playing.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
at the bottom.
right down at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, at the bottom.
Oh,
yeah,
that
down
one.
there.
Yeah.
Shut up. Shut up. Anyway. Monarch
Anybody
Legends
have
and
that?
Monsters, ladies and gentlemen. Number 9. It's a great show if you like Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and all those movies, which I do. Some of them aren't great. I still really, really dislike Godzilla X Kong. I don't like, or Godzilla V Kong. Sorry, V Kong.
I love it.
That one I don't like. But other than that, I like all those movies. And this takes place in that world, focuses on the group Monarch that's going around tracking all of them. It's a really good show. I
Dude,
thought
if you think the monster Godzilla movies are bad now, go back and watch the ones from like 1965.
Oh, I grew up on those movies.
Yeah, that's what me too.
Yeah. And yeah, they were objectively really bad. I loved them as a kid.
Yep, but they were bad.
What? Can I just mute this whole thing?
It's probably playing on one of the other tabs.
Mute the whole freaking tab. Anyway.
If you go up on the top corner of your tabs, top left, you can get a mute button.
Nah,
It
whatever.
only shows up when something's playing, though.
All right. Anyway, number 8 is Resident Alien. I have loved this show from the very beginning. Alan Tudyk plays an alien that crash lands on Earth. It's had 3 seasons, and they're all phenomenal. I highly recommend this show. Duke, it's going to scare you because he is a freaky looking alien. However, wait, I got to get a good picture of it so that Duke can see what he looks like when he's an alien. Because most of the time it's just him because he makes it to where he looks human.
Only certain people can see him as real.
Yeah, certain people can see what he really looks like, though. Where is... there he is. There you go, Duke. That's what he looks like.
Nope, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Anyway, it is fun, it's got heart, and it's hilarious. Because it's Alan Tudyk, so he's always funny and everything. And he plays a funny alien who doesn't understand human culture, and so there's all kinds of fish out of water hilarity ensues. In addition to like actual serious storylines having to do with the destruction of Earth.
He learns how to talk by watching, like, was it soap operas?
Yeah. So,
Alan
anyway.
Tudyk played Bruce Wayne's cousin once, so.
He did in, what was the name of that show? Superpowers or something?
Powerless.
Powerless. That was a great show that got, 8 episodes, I think, before it got canceled? And that sucked because it was really good. Anyway. All right. That was number 8? That was number 8. Number 7 is Lower Decks. This season, Lower Decks was fantastic. It's phenomenal. I love it. I've talked about Lower Decks many, many, many fucking times.
Plus the benefit, they actually decanonized STD with the last episode.
Yep. So, which is yay. All right, Duke, you'll like my my number 6, or maybe you'll be mad because it's at number 6. But I got Walking Dead: The Ones Who Live. So
Nice.
It did make my number 1, but
that's okay.
But it's on the list. It was definitely because I loved it. Number 5 is the season 4 of For All Mankind, and I know only me and Leo watch this show.
You know what? The reason why I didn't put it on my list because it started out at the end.
It started it started mid-December 2023, but I didn't put it on last year's list because it had only had a couple episodes before we did that top 10, so I saved it for this year.
Okay.
So, but yes, you're right because it started like mid-December last year, but most of the show was at the beginning of the year.
It did in January.
Yeah. But that show has been great from day one.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many I've been talking about the show for 4 years, and Leo is the only person who has watched it. And I don't know what is wrong with you people. It is one of the best shows on television for 4 years in a row. some people, man. Anyway, let's see.
The more you like ask me to watch it, the less I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. Number 4 is Yellowstone, because this show's always good, and it was still good even when Kevin Costner left the show. Still a great show. Still loved it. Number 3 is X-Men 97, because that gave me all the nostalgic vibes and feels, and the show was great, and I loved it, and the episodes were awesome, and it was just, come on. If you watch the original show, or maybe, I don't know, quit baseball to watch the original show. I mean, not that anybody would have done that. That would be silly.
Yeah, I should probably watch this show, huh?
Yeah, you probably should, because it's really fucking good.
Yeah. The cartoon was the reason why I started buying the comics.
Yeah.
I was so pleasantly surprised at the lack of preaching.
Yeah.
I mean, all throughout the production, you were hearing how bad it was going to be, and then
Yeah, and there was like no woke shit in it. It was just good.
And I still
Although
have some
nowadays, I mean, and that's the thing though. Like, okay, so X-Men has always like been about like, because that's what X-Men is based on. You know, it's like the civil rights movement. I mean, it's always been about that. So that's still in there. And so I remember hearing some people complain that, oh, they're preaching about it, and it's obvious they're making it like mutants or, you know, the equivalent of black people or this or that or whatever. I'm like, if you think that's new, you've never read the fucking comic and never watched the original show.
Where have you been?
Because that's always been a part of X-Men going back to 1962. Like, that's always been it. That's what mutants are a stand-in for, is any like societally oppressed group. So
I watched a video the other day that said that he doesn't think the Captain America that showed up in this is actually Captain America, because Captain America is stuck in a dimension fighting Red Skull.
maybe I heard that there was a rumor going around that somebody posted a video that's kind of gone viral on YouTube about that. I haven't watched the video though, so I don't know what I think about that. But my number 2 is Fallout, because it was fantastic and phenomenal, and one of the best new shows to come out in years. And I can't wait for season 2. And then my number 1 show of 2024, that I think most of us can agree on, was Penguin. Penguin was absolutely my favorite show to watch this year. It was. I really liked the movie, The Batman. Like, I liked it a lot. And I liked Colin Farrell as Penguin in that movie. However, I was kind of like, okay. And even when the trailer came out, I was like, well, the trailer looks really good. But is this really going to be a good show just being about Penguin? Like, is it really going to be that good? Like, I wasn't sure what to expect out of it. And I was completely blown away. It is like the perfect, it's the perfect villain story for Penguin to become the kingpin of crime in Gotham. It's even if you don't like Batman, but you like mob stories, this is a fantastic show. You don't have to like Batman's not even in this. You don't have to like Batman or like superhero stuff to watch this. There's no superhero stuff in it. There's no Batman in it. It's all about the Penguin.
You're 100% right. You could sell it to a mob guy.
Yeah.
A guy who likes mob stuff and gangster stuff and that whole era of like crime and all that. And you could just, because there's no like superhero stuff. It's all just demonstrous mob like killing everybody to take over. It's awesome.
I mean, it is. If you like Godfather or Scarface or The Sopranos, this show is for you.
If I had a nickel for every time the Penguin was in the best DC shows in the past 10 years, I'd have 2 nickels, but it's weird that it happened twice.
There you go. See? But yeah, that was my favorite show of the year. I loved it. It was such, like, they didn't overplay their hand like Disney loves to do with a lot of their shows. Like, it was 8 episodes and 8 meaty episodes, and I never felt like there was a single scene in any episode that was a waste or filler or anything.
You're exactly
Every
right.
scene in every episode was necessary to tell the story and felt like it needed to be there, and you needed to pay attention to every second of those 8 episodes. And that's just something a lot of shows don't do anymore, man. You know, it was such a well-rounded, well-filled out 8 episodes. It was like perfect television for me this year. Perfect television. I you know, a part of me like wants another season, but a part of me doesn't, because I'm like, well, how could they redo another season and not just fuck it up? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like a perfect season of television. It's like a perfect 8 episodes that almost just needs to be left alone. Like, it exists. It's awesome. Let's not fuck with perfection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
G-Webs has a valid point, though. No penguins with lasers. Is it really a penguin movie?
no.
Or a monkey bites his nuts off.
No, there's none of that.
Have you seen that interview here recently going around where the Danny V was talking about like an interview during that when they were shooting Batman Returns, the monkey that comes out and gives the note to the penguin, he attacked Danny DeVito and tried to bite his nuts off. He wasn't wearing that foam suit. He probably would have.
Oh, that's lovely.
So is that where you got the inspiration for the nose bite?
Could be.
Maybe.
I've been.
Jared, do you have your top 10?
I was just focusing on not dying this week, so no.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. JB, do you have your top 10 ready?
Wait,
Yes,
what
I do.
happened? You had to not die? How did you
So-
have to focus on not dying?
His penis
over
grew
that
too
shit?
large, and it was like literally sucking all the blood out of his body, even when not erect, because it's just so huge.
Yeah, I hate that problem.
And
I got a case of pancreatitis.
yeah,
Well,
Jared ended up
sorry
in the
about your
hospital.
penis, I guess.
Rest in peace.
Rest in penis.
I do want to make one comment before I get my list. This is how Sony should have done the villain, like the villain movies. Just be true to the characters.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
Turn them
Sony
into-
can't do villain movies for shit.
They keep
Oh,
on
I know.
turning into heroes.
I know, and they should just be the villains they are, not turn. Well, Venom, okay, he's an anti-hero because I do have the Lethal Protector comics, so that one's fine.
Well, he started
the
out as a
rest-
villain too, though. Like they could have done the
He
villain
did.
story first.
Yeah,
He didn't get.
I have
They
those-
didn't turn him into an anti-hero until he got popular.
Yes, I have the first issue when he first becomes where he first is a Lethal Protector. I have that one still in the plastic sleeve. But anyway, so my number 10 is one nobody mentioned, which I'm surprised. Star Wars: The Bad Batch.
It's good.
Wait,
I
wait,
haven't
wait.
got
forgot
to the
about
last
it.
season yet. I haven't got.
Did
to
you
the
just
last-
comic book flex on everybody? Is that what you just did?
I just noticed none of y'all mentioned that in your list. Star Wars: The Bad Batch.
I haven't even finished season 2, much less gotten to season 3.
I'm halfway on
Because
the
here's the
last
thing.
season.
I didn't like I didn't like the first season, so I've never
it's
been
really good.
inspired to move
Well,
on
it's-
past that.
If you go to comic book flex, I have 8,000 books.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, number 9 is the one that Matt was talking about in his list. Monarchy: Legacy of Monsters. That's my number 9. Number 8 is the one that I'm surprised, Matt, you and I agree on. Resident Alien. Love that show. It's funny. Me and the wife, we watched it. It had tons of laughs in it. I really enjoyed it.
Yep.
Number 7, Star Trek Lower Decks.
Yep. Yep.
Love that. It's a nice change of pace for Star Trek that I think we needed after so many times of them flopping with Star Trek. So it was good.
It's
Number
a
6.
nice.
Yeah. Number 6, Walking Dead: The Ones Who Live.
Wow,
my number
our
6.
number 8, 7, and 6 are exactly the same.
I know. Number 5, which I'm surprised you did not have this on your list, Matt. Superman and Lois.
Because I forgot. That's
I
why
know,
I
and you
forgot.
we both be big Superman fans. It shocks
I
me.
know, and it just ended like 3 weeks ago, and for some reason I just completely forgot when I was making my list.
Probably it really captures what Christopher Reeve's Superman was about, a Superman who's down to earth, not one who's overpowered.
Yeah.
Because we
No,
never really in the movies never got. Go ahead.
No, you know, I was just saying you're right. It was a good that show. I want to say more than certainly more than any of the shows, if you want to include Smallville or Lois and Clark or Superboy. Outside of maybe like Superman the Animated Series from back in the 90s, that show embodied a pure, wholesome, like born and bred, you know, Smallvilleite Superman. Like he was just the nice guy. He was Clark. And it really made a point in that show to say Clark is who he is. Superman is just a costume he puts on. He's Clark. He was raised on a farm. He's a farm boy. He's got good American values. You know, they didn't shy away from any of that stuff because it's like, oh, well, you know, American values equals Republican or anything. They didn't shy away from it, and they really showed that's who he is. And that was probably the best part of the show as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Especially good when he reveals his identity, the people embrace him.
Oh yeah, dude. That there was in that final season there was the episode the two episodes that stood out to me was the one where Sam Lane died. Spoiler alert. Was a fantastic episode. And then that episode where everybody found out he was Superman. And it was such a and here's the thing about it. The way they did it in that episode did not come off as pandering or anything. It didn't come off as forced, right? Because you're dealing with a Superman who's been Superman for 25 years at that point, you know, and it just came in the story as like, yeah, this is something that would eventually happen. And even though it's never really gone there in the comics, you know what I mean? Like it felt right. And I mean, secretly, like all of us at one point in time or another, if you grew up reading Superman comics, you're like, why didn't he just fucking tell everybody? You know, and you understand why, but you still want to see it. And the way they did it in the show in that episode of how everybody finds out who Clark Kent is, it made perfect sense and worked so well.
Yeah. My number 4 is Yellowstone. I watched the series finale with my dad, with my dad not too long ago, and we both enjoyed it like a lot. So, number 3, X-Men 97. We needed something good of X-Men again after all the bad Fox films we've gotten from them, and it was great just to have something we all remember as kids and as young adults. It had a good amount of nostalgia and callbacks to the original run of the cartoon, but also it showed that they did not change at all. They kept what they had with the original show, made the characters still interesting after all these years, and it's just really great.
And I'm just so glad because they and especially with everything that Disney and Marvel and everybody's been doing lately, they could have fucked it up so bad.
Oh, it's like having,
you know what I mean? They could have fucked it up and made it woke, and they could have made it so bad, and they didn't. They just said, you know what? Let's just take what was already done, and let's just continue that, and let's not do anything else.
But he did fuck it up by killing off Gambit. So I'm still
well, they're going somewhere with that, right?
I hope so.
Well, because I mean, just so you know, in the comics, at one point, Gambit does become one of the 4 horsemen of Apocalypse, and that's where they're going with that story.
He becomes death.
He gets brought back as a horseman of the Apocalypse. That's why they did that.
And what did they set up for the next season?
Apocalypse, yeah. So that's why they did that. But
God, they did that movie so bad. And remember the
that Age of Apocalypse was a piece of shit.
Yeah, that was
Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers showed up.
Yep.
The best part was having Rogue get choked out, or Mystique.
Yeah, that movie was.
Oh, that's another thing.
bad.
Rogue lost her ass.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice.
They took it out. They took it
The
out.
character models were smoothed down.
To a lot.
That's why they make my list.
Not knocking the voice actress, but you could tell the lady that does Rogue's voice.
Yes,
an old
you
lady.
could tell she's older. You could hear it in her voice that she's older. She still did a great job.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
you know what's funny is the one that surprised me the most was, and I don't remember the voice actor's name. The dude who did Cyclops, who is not the same actor,
Yeah.
and he sounded exactly like the dude from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That was the one that impressed me the most, because I mean, going in, we knew that was not. There was some characters that, because of various reasons, they weren't doing the show anymore, and that actor, I think, died. I think the actor that originally did Cyclops died, and so he couldn't do the show. And the dude they got to replace him, spot fucking on, like sounded exactly like Cyclops from 1996.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead, JB. What do you got next?
Yep. My number 2, Fallout. Great show. Very faithful to the games.
Y'all
I
share
played
your
all.
list or something?
Do what?
Y'all share your list together?
No.
We're all
I
the
was
same
trying to-
people. We're on a
Well, he
YouTube.
did wait to go
on
last. I was
Saturday.
thinking about doing the exact same thing, to be honest. Just like,
But-
because I didn't have a list, just like copying someone's list.
I had this at number 1
But
because I
then I
agree
was
with
like,
Matt.
nah, that would be dishonest.
Yeah. Well, I had this one at number 1 because I agree with Matt and I agree with everybody else. The Penguin. Fantastic show. As we mentioned, this is how Sony should have done the villains. Just make them villains. Don't make them anti-heroes at all. And it's
And
faithful
Marvel, not
to
just
that-
Sony, Marvel too, when it comes to the TV show.
Marvel, yes. But it's just a fantastic show, as Matt said, with no agendas, not really too much politics on there, but still, it's a great show. That's mine.
All right. So now comes my my calculations here, where we try to figure out collectively now, based on everything that was put on the list.
Why don't you just give the results to Dominion voting systems, and it will give you.
That would totally just, because that would certainly come out fair.
Wait, don't Honda still got to give his?
Right?
You finished?
I vote for everything that Leo said.
Okay. Cool.
So whatever Leo said gets 2 votes now.
Nice.
Norman Spencer was the voice of Cyclops.
Right choice.
In the original series.
I knew
series
it would be.
Yeah.
That's why I made the choice.
Yeah.
All right, so we do actually have a defined 10, but we have to order them out. So this requires some voting here.
Can I vote even though I didn't fucking come up with a list?
Yes,
Can I
you
still
can.
vote? Okay.
You can. So the first vote is a 4-way tie. So everybody needs to think about which one they like. All you got to do is tell me which one you like the best out of these 4. Here are the 4: Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, Resident Alien, Skeleton Crew, Superman, and Lois. Leo.
Superman and Lois. Oh, sorry.
I only see Monarch, so I don't know if I can vote on it.
Do you want to vote on it?
I don't even want to vote on Monarch. Period.
Okay, well then he is abstained. Sith, you said Superman and Lois?
Yep.
All right. Jared?
I'm going to say Resident Alien.
Resident Alien. JB?
Superman, Lois.
All right. Duke?
Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew. Honda, have you seen any of these shows?
Me and Leo are going to vote for Monarch.
Okay. And I'm voting for Resident Alien. So that puts that there and that there. I'm working on it. Hold on. This takes some time here.
You need like a sound effect, like a Those old like a calculating machine, like the punch number. It's like,
Yeah. Okay, so now we got another three-way tie. Lower Decks, Walking Dead, Ones Who Live, and Yellowstone. Leo?
I'm gonna have to go Yellowstone.
Going Yellowstone. All right. Sith?
I'll go Star Trek.
All right. JB?
and JP's went to sleep.
JB. Okay, Jared.
We're going to have to take those other shows to the train station.
All right. Duke.
Walking Dead. Everyone who hasn't said The Walking Dead is fucking retarded.
That's why I love you, Duke. You're awesome, dude.
Walking Dead died with Abraham.
Yeah,
Wanda, have you watched any of those shows?
What I would like to do, if I could, is take away one vote from Yellowstone. That'd be nice.
Brokeback Mountain.
I don't want to
show.
vote for some. I want to vote against something. So you can take someone's vote away from Yellowstone on my behalf.
Leo, did you go yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes, a Yellowstone.
Yeah, so Leo's vote doesn't count this time.
Okay.
I'm back.
Last time it was double. This time it's nothing.
JB, three-way tie. Yellowstone, Walking Dead, Ones Who Live, or Lower Decks?
Yep, Lower Decks.
Lower Decks.
Yeah, sorry, the wife called and need help with the kids.
All right.
I'm not mad if Lower Decks gets it.
Because it was higher up on my list, because all three of these were on my list, but Yellowstone was the highest of those three, so I have to vote for that one. All right. Another three-way tie. Penguin, Fallout, X-Men 97. Leo, go.
Penguin.
Penguin. Sith?
X-Men.
All right. JB?
Penguin.
And I voted for DC. Ew.
Jared?
Let's see. Midnight Cumberbatch would call it the Penguins.
Penguin.
Penguins.
Penguin.
Sith?
Penguins.
I already
Wait.
said X-Men.
You already said X-Men. Duke?
Penguin.
I'll catch the second one for X-Men.
All right. Honda, have you watched either X-Men, Fallout, or Penguin?
I mean, there's only one way I can vote on this, even though I haven't watched it, and that is X-Men.
Okay. And I'm going for Penguin as well. All right. And we have our collective top 10 TV shows of 2024 that go in this order. Number 10 is Superman and Lois. Number 9 is Skeleton Crew. Number 8, Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Number 7 is Resident Alien. Number 6, Walking Dead Ones Who Live. Number 5, Lower Decks. Number 4, Yellowstone. Number 3 is Fallout. Number 2, X-Men 97. And number 1 is Penguin. Penguin. That's a good list, man. Those are all great shows.
Penguins.
Except for Monarch. Other than that, yeah, the list.
That's a good
Great
list. A lot of good shows. It's a lot of good shows. So there you go. So we all have our individual list. There's our collective list. Either way,
Yep.
Penguin's number 1. I'm happy with that.
Can we give Duke a round of applause for actually saying what's the best shows tonight?
Well, he said Walking Dead, so it still doesn't count.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
It was a good show, man.
I got to give Duke a big hand tonight. And he's asleep.
No, I'm not asleep.
He's not asleep. He's been getting plenty of sleep this week, right? Or are your
Right.
kids keeping you awake?
No,
Just want to get riled up.
I've been sleeping.
All
No,
right.
I actually like the TV was great this year.
Yeah,
The
it was.
movies that are horrible. TV's
Yeah.
been awesome. So
I don't think so. I had the opposite. I thought not really the opposite. I thought movies were great this year. Last year, it was a struggle to me to even get 10. I don't even think I got 10 over the top 10 last year. I think I made it to like 8. Maybe.
Speaking of movies, did anyone else see Sonic 3 yet?
I did. We went to saw it last Sunday. Me, my wife, my 2 daughters, and it was fantastic. I love the Sonic movies.
Me too.
I like them a lot, man. They're fun.
This is the best one in the series, in my opinion.
Did you watch the Knuckles series?
I did. I watched the Knuckles series. It was great.
I've not. I don't have Paramount. I have to get on the website.
Dude, I mean, I liked Sonic the Hedgehog, the game, like everybody my age did in the 90s, right? But I would never have considered myself like a hardcore Sonic the Hedgehog fan. However, there's no denying those movies are great. They're just fun, well done movies. They don't preach bullshit.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
How many people spent hours collecting all the Chaos Emeralds so you could play as Super Sonic?
Yes.
Once you figured out the trick where you could actually like reset them after you go through like the first the special stage to get the Chaos Emerald, you could hit reset and just keep doing it all on stage 1, and keep the memory of you getting the previous emerald. It made it a little easier. Well, suck, you do all that and it doesn't save the game, so all you can do is say, "I got Super Sonic." No proof.
Well, I got Super Sonic. I mean, I can't prove it, but I did. So,
watching Jim Carrey be Jim Carrey is just something I've missed.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, I can't. I mean, has he been in anything else in the last few years other than the Sonic movies?
Well, he was really retired, and he decided to come back for the 3rd one.
I mean, I think that's like the only, like, for the last, when did the first one come out? 2018, 2019?
It was
2018.
2020, I think it was the first one. What's the first Sonic?
Yeah,
the first movie. That was 2018.
He went for a few years. He did those wacky, like, ugly paintings of portraits of people he hated.
Yeah.
And he had the Father Time beard.
I think it was
going
2020.
On. Was it 2020?
Because
that was 2018.
I remember going to the movie theater to watch it, and I think so.
During COVID?
2020.
Hold on, first.
It was 2020. I have the Blu-ray, so.
Okay, so it was. Oh yeah, that's right. Because it came out early in the year before.
Damn, they dropped 3 movies in basically 5 years.
Yeah,
damn,
that's right. It was supposed to come out early, but they had to change it. Change the character.
They listened to the fans and they changed it.
Yep,
that's
right. They didn't berate and double down and insult.
They didn't get all pissy. They didn't be like, "Oh, you just don't understand our vision." They were like, well, the fans want this changed. They changed it. And guess what? Sonic 3 just kicked the shit out of Disney's Mufasa over the weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
now we got Keanu Reeves, Idris Elba.
Because it came out on my birthday weekend, so that's why I went and watched it as a birthday present to myself.
Yeah, because it came out before the pandemic.
It came out in February.
Remember all the idiots on back before Twitter was cool again, were complaining like they shouldn't listen to the fans. That's going to set a bad precedent.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Well,
now 5 years later, in a very, very successful and financially successful fucking trilogy of movies. Yeah. Maybe shut the fuck up and listen to the fans once in a while.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Disney has lost over $1 billion in the last few movies they've done.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed that Sonic didn't recognize Keanu. Sonic didn't recognize. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I wasn't counting the Deadpool Wolverine because Marvel didn't make that. Ryan Reynolds made that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And they're still gonna fucking release that fucking Snow White movie next year.
I mean, because they already poured their money out into it, so they guess they gotta like.
They really, what they should do is what fucking DC did with that Batgirl movie. Just be like, fucking take tax write off.
Right.
Here's the sad thing. The sad thing is parents are still going to take their kids to watch it.
Yeah, because they don't know. Like, they just normies.
Well, they're hoping on for the fact that there's going to be enough, quote, normies that don't pay attention to what's going on.
People these days pay attention to what's going on these days.
They still, when it comes to
there's still a lot of stupid people. However, because of the internet, more people know about shit like this than would have 20 years ago.
Yes.
And then you got to think like the kids might not care anyway because they don't really know what's going on. They're gonna beg their parents, "Can we go and watch it?"
Well, and the thing is I mean, first of all, the first trailer I watched, it's fucking awful, and there's nothing that would appeal to kids in that trailer. So, and to be honest, I don't think most kids give a rat's ass about Snow White anymore.
Well,
We do not live in the 80s and 90s when Disney ruled supreme, and between like Grimm's fairy tale type stories and things like that. That is not what kids give a fuck about anymore. They did in the 80s, they did in the 90s. They really don't anymore. Like, people have heard of Snow White, but Snow White's not like mandatory reading in elementary school anymore.
Well, here's a tell. I told my kid, I was like, "Hey, like, let's go see the Sonic movie," because he liked the first and the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Come on, man, like, let's go." And he's like, "No, I'll just wait till it comes out at home, Dad." Because he doesn't care about going to the movie theater. So like, and you want to talk about a bad opening? Lord of the Rings did 4 million on opening weekend. 4 million on a $30 million plus budget. It did a $4 million opening. It's been pulled from theaters.
I've tried watching that movie twice now, and I can't get past the 20-minute mark.
It's so bad. There's nothing redeemable in it. There's nothing good at all. Possibly there's one good part where Merry and Pippin are in it, and they do like a cameo because they're orcs looking on the dead bodies for rings, and it's like, "Oh, the master wants us to look for rings," and it's like a little funny thing, and they get killed. So that's kind of cool. Besides that, whole thing is complete trash.
Yeah.
Well, I want to make this point. If you look at Snow White that's coming out, and look at the Sonic movies. What's the difference? One movie is about, as Matt said, fantasy and fairy tales. The other one is tied into a video game franchise. And as we know, kids these days, Matt said, most of them don't care about fairy tales and fantasy movies anymore.
But video games.
Mostly it's video games these days. So if Sonic can be successful because it's based on video games, then again, there have been bad movies and shows that have been based on video games, but it's because it was
But
right.
I'd be willing to bet, and I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I'd be willing to bet next year that as bad as the trailer was, the fucking Minecraft movie will make more money than Snow White does.
Oh, yeah. It's got Jack Black in it.
Well, just because it's based off a video game.
Well, the craze of kids like to watch people. I don't get it. Like, kids want to watch people play Minecraft on YouTube, but not play it themselves. Just watch other people play it. So now they got a movie of people in the Minecraft world building Minecraft stuff. Hey, it's gonna work.
Yeah, I guess. And I've seen that trailer. I saw it when it first dropped, I don't know, a month ago or something like that. And then it was in front of Sonic when I went to go see Sonic on Sunday. And it looks awful. Like, it looks fucking awful.
It looks absolutely horrendous.
What they should have done for a Minecraft movie is just do a Minecraft movie without real people in it.
Yes.
Do actual Minecraft characters.
Do the Lego movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what
that's what they should have done. Mm-hmm. It looks awful. However, I bet you it makes more money than fucking Snow White does, because kids are going to care more about that than they are Snow White.
It will. That's why I did mention about there will be bad video game movies. So
yeah.
Well, there's tons of bad ones. So I think Sonic
there is.
Tons of bad ones going all the way back to Super Mario Brothers in 1992. Was it 92?
Yeah, it was 92.
Hey, John Leguizamo was a great lit.
Although I will be honest, as bad as that is, I still have a soft spot for it because it was a movie that I saw as a kid. Like, I don't know, it's an objectively awful movie. However, I don't hate it.
Of course, it's also one of those movies bad enough it's funny.
Yes, you're right.
But they are bad movies that are just so bad you can't watch them. But that's one of the ones you watch it.
And I will say the casting in that Super Mario movies was good. Like, Mario and Luigi were well cast, I thought.
Oh no, an Italian. Well, I guess they were half brothers because One's Italian, one's Latino.
Yeah, but John Leguizamo played a good Luigi.
Are you talking about Super Mario Brothers?
Yes.
Oh, I love that's the best movie in the whole world.
Then again,
And see, that's perfect
You were
because
gonna say
for
that,
you,
Oh my
when that
God.
movie came out, you were like 7 or 8 years old, right? Like you were a little kid, so you have the nostalgia of being a kid watching that movie, and I'm sure for kids,
Perfect
I mean, I was, I don't know, 92. I was 14, 15, whatever when it came out. So I was older. But I still liked it. Like I at the time I understood it was objectively not a good movie, but I still liked it because it was fucking Super Mario Brothers.
We need to make a list of that.
What's her
Did it come out
face?
before or after the Turtles?
hold on.
Let's see, 1993. Let's see, 1993. I was 10.
Duke is cooking some. Hang on.
We need to do a list of movies we know that are bad but we love. Like
Yes.
a top 5
Guilty pleasure
five.
movies.
of like,
I'd be
like
down
I
to do
know
that.
I know Waterworld is a bad movie, but I
I
love it.
love Waterworld. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
I'd be down to do it.
Moonfall.
God damn.
I
You
like
know,
Moonfall.
there's a lot of fucking
I love Moonfall.
a lot of those fucking disaster movies are awful, yet I love disaster movies. Especially the more ridiculous they get. Like what's the one with John Cusack where it's like literally the end of the world?
2012.
2012. That movie is horrible, but I love that movie.
I
And
hated the
yeah.
Awful. It's an
Hated it.
awful movie. Which is like that, like when Woody Harrelson's like up on the mountain screaming, like as he's right about to die.
Armageddon, like the Michael
Yeah,
Bay
Armageddon.
movie. It is a horrible movie, but it's fun to watch.
You shut
Don't
your
wanna
mouth. That's not a
close
horrible
my
movie. That's a
eyes.
cinematic masterpiece.
Because I missed you.
We can't train these highly skilled
Don't
astronauts how to
wanna
run
miss
like a
the
drill
thing.
equipment.
No, so we got to get people who run drilling equipment and train them to be astronauts. So that makes way more sense.
Yeah,
I mean, there really is a movie called Disaster Movie, and that's just bad.
I have never missed a depth, and I ain't gonna start now.
Oh, Con Air.
well, not to
It's a
mention
bad
too, like
movie, but
even
I
back
love
Con Air
then,
is
like,
great. You shut your mouth. Con Air is one of the best movies ever.
Hey, everything Nicolas Cage did in
Face off.
the 90s was fucking phenomenal and
Nicolas
deserved.
Cage is
And
a
he deserved to
gold.
get like 15 Academy Awards in the 90s for his work.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, any list of mine is like it'll be all Nicolas Cage movies, so I wouldn't have to put that on there. Cause I mean they're bad, but they're so good though.
Face Off is one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yes.
It will forever be in my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
I've got a movie right here that would be
Alcatraz gave us like a conclusion to Sean Connery's Bond.
Yep.
I've got a movie already, and that'd be definitely number one for me. Face
Ghost
Off.
Rider.
No,
Oh, Face Off.
Face Off.
You shut your mouth. That's not a guilty pleasure movie. That's a phenomenal movie.
Oh, I said. Oh, I was. It
The
is a guilty
acting
pleasure
in that
for me.
movie is top notch. Okay,
That's a guilty pleasure for me. I love that movie. It's
that
in my-
implies that it's not a good movie.
no, it's a great movie.
And,
It's a phenomenal movie.
even as
Never
kids,
have two actors done so good of a job playing each other.
Oh, believe me, I've got almost
Yeah.
every.
I can
Nicolas
quote
Cage
every
movie.
line from that movie.
even though like even as a kid, I was like, they could have completely different builds and facial structures.
That's
Like,
why they did the liposuction. Didn't you catch that?
I'll never.
They
never-
resculpted his abs and his love handles and everything.
I'll never forget
That's not how that
when-
works.
They totally did.
I'll
It's
never
not how-
forget.
They
the-
made
It's
it
not how any
work.
of that works.
Yeah. I'll never forget when he dressed up as a pastor in the beginning of that movie and did that dance and that weird, odd eyeball face he made, like on the face. That was great. I love that movie.
I could eat a peach for hours. Yes.
Mhm.
Love that fucking movie. I so love that movie.
You might want to crack. It's gonna get a little smoggy.
I've not been a fan of it.
Do you remember Broken Arrow?
I do. I love that movie too.
Yeah.
Broken Arrow.
I went to the movie theaters and watched it twice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's a phenomenal movie.
Yep, definitely remember Broken Out. Like the Christian, it's like Christian Slater was like in everything for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about a good Nicolas Cage movie that came out recently, Willy's Wonderland. He was silent throughout that whole movie.
The other one he did that's fantastic that came out, I think it was last year. I can't remember the name of it. What's the one where he plays the old guy who's retired but he's like an ex-assassin, and then his daughter gets kidnapped.
I think it was The Retirement Plan.
Is that what it? Yeah, the Retirement Plan. There you go. That
The Retirement Plan.
Fantastic.
Because I have
my favorite.
Oh yes, Don't Poke the Bear says Renfield. Renfield was another great one.
Was awesome.
The Netflix one where he plays himself with Pedro Pascal, that is up there with some of the best work he's ever done.
I have almost every Nicolas Cage movie that I own. Almost all of his entire films.
I just love. I love the part in Renfield when Renfield brings back the bodies and all, whatever, towards the beginning of the movie, and Dracula's eating them and stuff, and he's like, what is this you brought me? I don't ask for much. And he's like, well, that's Doug. Doug is trash.
Everything Nicolas Cage touches turns to gold.
Oh, I love Nicolas. His level. He's got a unique level of overacting that even puts like William Shatner to shame, I think. And he's made an art of overacting and brought it to a level that like should be recognized by the Academy Award. What he's done for over the top overacting in things that don't require it, right? Scenes and lines of dialogue that don't require overacting at all. They weren't written that way. They don't make sense that way. And then he just comes in and does it, and you're like, fuck, dude, I now I can't imagine it not being overacted.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you one more. My wife loves this movie, Matchstick Men.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a while. That's a good one. That was in his period after all the action movies in the 90s where he was trying to get more serious.
Yeah.
And he was doing like that. He did The Weatherman. And what was that one he did that was very the one he did that was very It's a Wonderful Life, where he fucking Family Man, there you go.
Family Man, yeah.
That was great. A good one. Love that movie. I love Nicolas Cage. He's just, even in a really bad movie, he's entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's pretty much it for tonight. It's gonna wrap it up. I think we're gonna wish everyone farewell, adieu. I'll be saying goodbye, and then we'll be back on the NEA channel on Monday. And then we got our live chat for Geek Fusion on Friday. As long as Jared's penis hasn't grown too large, we'll see.
It's like a black hole. It's just gonna consume everything.
It just consumes all matter and life around it.
It's probably
just bigger. So
it's consumed too much Transformers, probably.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Like yours with Plastic Man.
Yeah. Got me on that one.
Pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna get out of here. We will see you guys later. Y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll see you guys next time. As always, deuces, yo, shout out, P and Fridge, all that good shit. And we'll see y'all later. Take it easy, guys.